Gotham Knights. Who is Clayface? Profile. Basil Karlo was once an actor, but his delusions of grandeur and his ego lead him into a life of crime. Batman was unable to save Karlo from the accident that turned him into the criminal known as Clayface, and he has held a personal grudge against him ever since. His anger and his ability to mold his body into any shape have made for a dangerous combination. Basil Karlo, the original Clayface, was an actor who was driven mad when he heard of a remake of the classic horror film he had starred in, Dread Castle, and that he wouldn't be in the leading role. Adopting the persona of Clayface, the villain of one of his old films, he became a serial killer targeting the cast and crew. He was eventually stopped by Batman and Robin. Later versions of the character reimagined him as being transformed into a behemoth of shapeshifting, clay-like flesh. Biography. Before Gotham Knights. The last time he and Batman fought was at the city's reservoir, where Clayface fell into and was shredded by a turbine. During Gotham Knights. Basil Karlo, better known as Clayface, is a supervillain operating in Gotham City and a longtime foe of Batman and the Bat family. Clayface survived the incident, but was comatose for nearly a year, having his pieces with bits of his conscious in each one scattered across the city. At some point, enough pieces found each other for him to form again, and he decided to start making a movie about how Batman supposedly tried to kill him. Clayface has seemingly committed the least crimes of all the side mission villains, having only these charges: deformation/slander, making his bad film about Batman. Even if he got to finish his movie, it is likely no one would've took it seriously. Indirect assault, his clay chunks still missing having taken on human forms and assaulting citizens in Chapter 1, and accidentally harming the civilians inside the vehicles during the chase scene at the beginning of Chapter 2. Indirect attempted homicide, his clay chunks reuniting at the reservoir treatment plant caused the pipes around the city to clog, nearly breaking the tubes inside the dam and flooding the north end of Gotham. Indirect murder, a piece of dialogue from a criminal working with one of Clayface's homunculi seems to confirm that said homunculi has killed at least one person. Theft, stealing cameras and lights for his film. Trespassing, hiding in the sewers, roaming Dixon docks, and infiltrating the reservoir's treatment plant. All illegal acts since they're either private property establishments or private property of Gotham City. Vandalism, damaging billboards, vehicles, streetlights/signs, etc., and leaving a trail of broken concrete while escaping from the player in Chapter 2's chase. Basil Karlo was an actor until he was driven mad by learning that a new actor would lead the role of a remake of the classic horror film that he had originally starred in. Adopting the alias of the villain of one of his old movies, Clayface, he fatally wounded several members of the cast and crew of the remake before eventually being defeated by Batman and Robin. He reappears in Detective Comics No. 49, March 1941, after the prison ambulance he is riding in plunges off a cliff. He once again dons the mask of Clayface and targets Bruce Wayne's fiancée. Once again, the dynamic duo foil the evil Karlo. New Earth. Much later, Clayface languishes in a prison hospital, where Lady Clay, Sandra Fuller, visits him out of curiosity. Clayface then forms an alliance, consisting of Lady Clay, Clayface 2, and Clayface 3, dubbed the Mud Pack, to defeat Batman. Though the Mud Pack is defeated, Karlo tricks his allies and manages to imbue himself with abilities similar to those of Preston Payne and Sandra Fuller. He was defeated by the combined efforts of Batman, Looker, and the Outsiders by overloading his abilities and making him melt into the ground. While literally sinking into the Earth's crust when he loses control of his power, he manages to survive, and now his body sports crystals similar to quartz that endow him with greater powers. Karlo was able to escape his underground prison when Gotham City was struck by the Great Cataclysm. He was able to capture Batman and was about to kill him, but he got into a feud with Mr. Freeze over who has the right to kill the Caped Crusader. With that distraction, Batman soundly defeated both of them. During the No Man's Land storyline, Basil Karlo holds Poison Ivy, who is in charge of producing fresh vegetables for the remaining people in the city, prisoner in Robinson Park. Poison Ivy eventually battles and defeats Karlo, sinking him deep into the ground. It appears that the ultimate Clayface is destroyed in this battle, but has resurfaced as a member of the secret society of supervillains too. Later, he seeks to increase his already formidable powers by absorbing Wonder Woman, a clay construct similar to him, making him near invulnerable. While he was successful in absorbing the heroine, he is ultimately forced to release her. Clayface was a member of the Injustice League and was among the villains seen in Salvation Run. He can be seen as a member of Libra's secret society of supervillains. In the second issue of Final Crisis, he triggers an explosion at the Daily Planet in Metropolis, the hometown of Superman. Prime Earth. Following DC's Flashpoint event, Karlo is changed to be the sole Clayface. His origin is also altered to take influence from Batman, the animated series' version of Matt Hagen. Origins. During the New 52, Basil Karlo was an actor who purchased the illegal substance Renew from the Penguin to augment his appearance. In return, Basil had to use his shapeshifting to act as the Penguin's agent. However, the substance wore away at Basil's sanity and resulted in an outbreak on set which had him blacklisted from the industry. Because of this, Basil became Clayface and embraced a life of crime while being a regular inmate of Arkham Asylum. After DC Rebirth, Karlo's origin was changed to bring him more in line with both his original origin and the DC animated universe. In it, he was the son of horror makeup/SFX artist Vincent Karlo, who illegally used an industrial chemical Renew to create his effects, the substance causing flesh to become malleable like clay. When found out, Vincent was fired due to the chemical being banned from use on human skin. Basil would grow up to be a celebrated actor in the film industry who landed the film of a lifetime, only to learn of his father's death over the phone while driving. Upon this discovery, the shocked Basil got in a car accident which left him horrifically disfigured. Needing to maintain his career, Basil sought after his late father's stash of Renew and began using it to recreate his old appearance, albeit with the side effects leaving him in effective addiction to the material. After this, Basil began using his shapeshifting and acting abilities to break into Daggett Industries in search of more Renew. In one incident of trying to steal Renew, Basil was confronted by the GCPD on Roland Daggett's payroll. The police opened fire on the actor, shattering a wall of Renew bottles which flooded onto Basil's body. This incident transformed Basil into the shape-shifting monster Clayface, who became a major enemy to Batman and inmate of Arkham Asylum.